Fenton has gained access to the stadium and spoken to Glenn. Glenn says he'd be happy to take Fenton to the museum reception after winning the decathlon. Unfortunately, he isn't sure if he can maintain his slim lead in the final long jump. His closest competitor has consistently jumped 25 centimeters further than Glenn. If he manages to do the same during today's competition, Glenn will only win second place. Maybe Fenton can help his friend reach his full potential.
The layout of the stadium. As we've already established, of course, I'm an expert orienteer, so I won't be needing this. There's a bottle in the rubbish bin. A bottle of cleaner. The list of starters in the long jump. Glenn's got a slim lead, that's why he's last to jump. A used towel. Filthy. I'm not touching it. Might as well be eyeing up women back at Shen's. A sweaty blue jersey. Sweaty sports clothes. No thanks. Damn, it's getting late. I need to get on with whatever the hell it is I think I'm doing here. There's a pair of old trainers under the bench. Nothing I can do with a pair of smelly trainers. The shoelaces, on the other hand, look absolutely essential. Fresh, clean towels. Call it intuition if you like, but I'm taking this towel. What would a locker room be without lockers? Just a room, I suppose. They're all locked. It's a poster advertising the Olympic torch relay. The games have started, so my guess is this is a little out of date. A ventilation grate. I can see a weak light on the other side. It's screwed on tight. Metal coat hooks. This hook here seems to be loose. Got it. Just needed a bit of leverage, that's all. The grate's off. Ah, it's the equipment room. 2 javelins and some hammer throwing and shot put equipment. The shelf's feet are screwed to the floor. That's some heavy-duty storage. The balls for the hammer throwers are hanging on a cable. The others must be for the shot put. I dabbled in athletics when I was at the academy. I remember all too well how heavy these things are. You'll understand if I don't fancy carrying them around with me. Some dumbbells. 5 kilos. I'll just take one of these with me. The shelf's metal base is screwed tightly to the floor. I can't loosen the screws bolting down the shelf. Probably not a bad thing. I can't use the coat hook to loosen the screws. Yet. Maybe leaving it here will help. Somehow. Okay, it's all tied up. Time to get to work. It worked. The end's now flattened out. A whole load of sporting equipment and measuring devices. Stopwatches, batons, several table tennis balls, and a measuring tape. A measuring tape. Could be useful. 5 table tennis balls. I'm sure no one will miss these. starting blocks for the track races. I'd much rather leave them here. It's a metal plate screwed into the side of the locker. Now that it's flat, this makes for a pretty decent screwdriver. Let's get this panel loose. Ta-da! I present to you the inside of a locker. Looks like a judge's uniform. Swish. A judge's uniform. I could use the sharp edge to cut the measuring tape and then alter it. Won't be long before Glenn discovers his inner champion. I rather sense a plum taking shape. I'll cut another 25 centimeters off the 1 meter piece. That's the exact length Glenn needs to beat his competitor's best distance. The cleaner contains acetone. According to the label, this solvent shouldn't come into contact with plastics. My destructive tendencies are encouraging me to do precisely that, hence the table tennis balls. But if it melts plastic, I can only imagine what it does to human skin. I need a container of some kind. The bin looks pretty sturdy. Should be a good container for my little experiment. Wish I could say this was the first time I've done something like this. The solvent's dissolving the balls. All that's left is a sticky mush and a fierce stench. Smells a bit like thorn apple. I can probably glue this back onto the original tape. I guess the molten plastic will do the job. I don't really want to glue this piece back on. Perfect. I'll glue the shortened piece back onto the original roll. Job done. I don't really want to... The lamp's seen better days. It's flickering and sparking. Looks like it would give me a nasty shock. The spark set the flowers alight. Okay, I've got the rigged measuring tape ready, but to make this work, I've got to smuggle it into the long jump area somehow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching the grand finale of the Olympic decathlon. In just a few moments, Erwin Huber of Germany will step up to compete. I'd like to ask for quiet from the stands so that the athletes can concentrate. An excellent effort. That was quite a jump. Could Erwin Huber have beaten his own record?
750, 7 meters and 50 centimeters.
7 meters and 50 centimeters. Fantastic! Erwin Huber has topped his own personal best. This will make it very, very difficult for Glenn Parker to defend his lead in the overall standings. Parker is heading to the track. In just a few minutes, his performance in the long jump will determine the gold medal decathlon winner.
I'm really running out of time here. I've got to swap the tape, but I'll struggle as long as those two judges are still standing over it. That's a lot of people. That guy with the tash looks familiar. The judge decides whether or not a jump is valid. He shows the white flag for a good takeoff. Then he takes that measuring tape, attaches it to the bolt next to the takeoff line, and measures the distance to the nearest imprint in the sand. The judge records the distance and relays it to the stadium announcer. I'd better not talk to him. This measuring tape is used to measure the distance of the long jump from the takeoff point to the nearest sand imprint. I could switch the measuring tapes, but I wonder if the judges might have something to say about that. The jump's invalid if the jumper steps over the takeoff board. As they say, the jumper with a perfect takeoff is already halfway to victory. The judge uses the microphone to relay the jumper's distance to the stadium announcer. This cable powers the lights and things out on the track. I shouldn't do anything to blow my cover. This is the run-up track the long jumpers use. I'd better keep a distance. These cables are hooked up to the lights and the microphone out in the stadium. Nice idea. If I cut the power to the long jump area, maybe I'll have a chance to switch the measuring tapes. But I shouldn't be anywhere near the scene of the crime when the lights go out. Maybe I can find a way to give myself enough time to scarper. Nothing to do. An empty torch bracket. Good plan, Fenton. The fire gradually burns through the cables, then the lights on the long jump area go out, interrupting the event, and I'm long gone before anyone realizes what's happened. Let's be honest, that's the best bit. Let's get out of here.
Berlin is holding its collective breath. The final decision in the decathlon is rapidly approaching. Glenn Parker is warming up on the track for his decisive jump. I'd like to ask the spectators in the stands to remain quiet because... One moment. We seem to be experiencing technical difficulties in the long jump area.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
What's wrong?
What do you think is wrong? There's a complete power failure in this part of the stadium. Must be another problem with the cables. I'll go check. Come with me. I might need your help.
Shouldn't the technician take care of it?
Sure, in about 3 hours' time. We can't put the Olympic Games on hold. Can you keep an eye on things while we try to fix the problem?
But of course, just leave everything in my capable hands.
I've just been told that we're doing everything possible to fix the problem. Thank you for your patience. I'm sure the long jump contest will resume shortly.
This measuring tape is used to measure the perfect time to swap the tapes.
Ladies and gentlemen, our technical problems have been solved. The judges are returning to their seats, and we can continue. The big question, though, is will the interruption have put Glenn Parker off his stride? I see that he's returning to his starting position. Any minute now, he'll be making his decisive jump. The jump is valid. But was it far enough? From here, it doesn't seem like he came anywhere near Erwin Huber. But what do the measurements say?
7:35.
7 meters and 35 centimeters.
7 meters and 35 centimeters! That puts him just behind Erwin Huber in this final event, but it's just enough for Glenn Parker of Great Britain to take the gold medal. His lead may have been minuscule, but that's a minor detail. Glenn Parker has won the 1936 Olympic decathlon. Erwin Huber will have to be satisfied with silver, and Lauri Askela of Finland has earned bronze. And that, ladies and gentlemen, marks the end of this year's decathlon.
I hope history will forgive me. I mean, I may have betrayed the centuries-old Olympic spirit and cheated a man out of his gold medal. But come on. I am here saving the world, so I'll finally be able to get into the museum. Countess von Hagenhild had better be there with what I need. Glenn had better have a spare dinner jacket as well.
Cheers, Glenn. I really owe you one.
No problem. Sure you don't fancy a drink to celebrate?
Believe you me, once I'm done on this job, I'll be holding a liquid celebration for a solid week. For now, I just need to find a way down into the lower levels.
Then I won't keep you. Maybe I'll see you at the next Sandhurst reunion.
Sure, if I get an invitation this year. What is it about smuggling they have such an issue with?
Heaven knows. Well, good luck with your search for Richard. It was great to see you again, Fenton.
Thanks, Glenn. You take care.
This display case contains equipment from an expedition to Tibet, led by a certain Ernst Schaefer 2 years ago. A small movie camera and a few bits of clothing, along with some climbing equipment. The lid's closed, but I can't see a lock. But the party's just getting started. Oh, and yes, I am supposed to be saving the world. A monastery in the Tibetan mountains. No, not that monastery. Yak on a Mountainside. What an appropriate title. A map of Tibet. Ernst Schaefer drew it by hand during his expedition there. It's the cloakroom. This scarf could prove useful at some point. Ooh, almost got caught there. It's a painting of the Himalayas. Perhaps a little too la-di-da for my tastes. Besides, I am supposed to be finding a way downstairs. The guy in the foyer said that whole area was off limits. I'd bet my old Ford, if I still had it, that that's where the Countess is hiding the eye and the map. It's the gold medalist reception. Glenn's in there. Let's pray no one ever realizes he really shouldn't be. A bottle of champagne and a glass. If the plonk were cheaper, it'd be the spit of my bedside table. A champagne glass. A heavy door. I can't get there. Looks like a small cupboard. Well, no, it's definitely a small cupboard. I mean, just look at it. It's cupboard-shaped and small. The sign reads, "No entry for visitors." I'll just take the red... No, what the hell. I'll take the whole bloody thing with me. Why not? These people need to learn how to hold their bladders. We used to go 48 hours with our legs crossed in intensive training. Let's just close this whole area off. The power of red tape never ceases to amaze me. I'll just leave it there. I'm enjoying the peace and quiet. It's summer. No one really needs a beautiful scarf like this. Looks like a small cupboard. Well, no, it's definitely a small cupboard. There's a champagne cork in this glass. I'll have that, shall I? Collecting champagne corks isn't one of my hobbies, but I'll hold on to the little wire cap. It's a pretty basic lock, I should be able to get it open. I picked the lock on the cupboard door. This cupboard is full of cleaning supplies. I'll take a mop and... yes, why not? A jar of hydrochloric acid.